Hey, Spirit Tribe family, we got a great podcast lined up for you today. Today, we are talking about love. Yes, the L word. We're going to talk about what it is, what it is not, and why is it so hard to get. Stay tuned. We got a great episode coming your way today. Hey, everybody, I want to take the time to thank you all so much for checking out my very first podcast. And as I said, today we're talking about love. Love is a controversial subject where some believe they emphatically know what love is, and others who don't know what love is, and they're trying to find that thing that they truly want the most, which is love. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. So I took a poll from a few listeners and I asked them what love is to them. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of those answers. For one of the listeners, they stated that there's two kinds of love: the love that you get from your parents and families, the ones that keep you safe, family love. Then in a relationship, it's the love not just of the attraction love, but of unconditional love. You give each other without expecting anything in return. The love where you can just look at one another and know what they're feeling. It's love where you have that communication daily with each other. And that is a great answer, definitely a great answer. And then we have another listener that says love is waking up every day, making a conscious choice to make someone else's life happy and fulfilling while maintaining honesty, loyalty, and dignity, which is another great answer, no doubt. And then we have another listener that simply states love is understanding. And that is in and of itself complex but simple at the same time. So that is a very great answer as well. So I was listening to, a YouTube video on love, and Will Smith actually had something to say about what he thinks love is and what he defines love as. And he says that love is LUV. It's listening, understanding, and validation. And I agree with those, especially, the you part being the most important. Understanding, when you understand your partner, that is a really big thing in, in understanding love between each other. So those were great answers, and I liked what Will Smith said about love. And so now we're going to go ahead and get into why is everyone afraid of love? And when I say afraid of love, I mean in the context of getting hurt. I don't think that people are afraid of love. Everybody wants love, right? I don't think that people are afraid of love. They're afraid of the consequences that may come of getting your heart broken. So that's the main thing that, everyone is worried about with love. I happen to be watching the 90 Day Fiance show, and I love that show. Don't judge me. But that is a show that I was watching one episode, and there was a young lady in there, and she, the guy had fallen in love with her, and he was basically telling her that he had fallen in love with her, and she had brought up the L word, and she wasn't ready for the L word. And, he assumed that she was ready for the L word. So, his heart was kind of broken that she wasn't feeling the same way as he was, or she wasn't ready for the love portion. And in this instance, I just feel like neither one of them really knew or know what love is. And what it tends to lead to is pain. I mean, especially when one person feels something and another doesn't. The fear of rejection is the thing that causes everyone to fear love for the most part. A relationship fails, it's that pain that you feel from being in love with someone and the relationship doesn't go the way you want it to. The vulnerability part of it. People are scared of being vulnerable for those exact reasons. So people never open themselves up to love because of the fear of getting hurt, and you're never vulnerable, and then you always have this wall up. And, some people just feel that they're unlovable. And I think that's more deep-rooted in something that stems from, maybe childhood traumas that happened in your life. There's lots of things, but ultimately, I think the biggest problem is not loving yourself. And we'll get into that more later in the podcast, but that's just one more thing of why people are afraid of love, is that they feel that they're unlovable. So that's a huge thing. And so before we get into what love is, we're going to get into what love is not. So love is not just an emotion. It's not something that, you just feel, it is something you feel and it is an emotion. But when I say it's not just an emotion, it's not just the mushy feeling that you get for someone, or, the puppy love, or, those type of emotions. It's not just that. It's so much deeper than, the outward external meaning that we give to love. It's not that at all. And another thing that it is not is it's not a sexual attraction and romance. Everybody has sexual attractions to, other individuals. But of course, that's not love. Even when you turn a relationship into a relationship out of a sexual attraction, it's not love. And, romance is not love either. Romance is just that. Romance is romance. And while that's, a great thing, it's not love. Love is such a deeper thing than sexual attraction and romance. Those things are outward manifestations, whereas love is an inner feeling rather than an outward feeling. Love is also not needing others to love you. What I mean by that is one can say, I love you, but you need to love me too. You know what I mean? And that is not what love is. If you need others to love you and to validate you, for one, you don't love yourself. And two, you don't recognize your self-worth. Needing others to love you is not love, because one of the true definitions of love is unconditional love. So if you need others to validate you, just know that that is not a form of love at all. Love is also definitely not a human quality, because as humans, we're living in an external reality, and our spirit is on a different level. Spirit is inward and the human is outward. So by nature, love is not a human emotion, it's a spiritual emotion. So we have to get that out of our heads that, everything that we do and, we say we love someone or this or that, it's not coming from the standpoint of a human emotion. It's not a human quality at all. It's all inward. I'll switch to the nature of reality and who we really are. That is that we're spiritual beings and we're not physical beings. So on the topic of that, we're going to get into the nature of who we really are. So the nature of who we are is spiritual in essence. We are the physical body, but we're not the physical body. So the physical body is a vessel for our spirit, for this divine energy that we carry within us. So in essence, we are spirit having a human experience. And this all ties into love. I mean, it's all going to go back to love in the end. And so we have to understand on a deeper level that we're not the human body. It's just a vessel. And I know it's hard to get out of that because a lot of the way that our society is set up is to, make everyone think about nothing but the physical. And we don't think anything about the spiritual. And so we've kind of lost our spiritual way and lost a sense of who we really are because we don't ever think about our spiritual aspect or our spiritual self. We're always, focused on the vessel and not the spirit, which is who we are. So, that's one thing that we have to understand on this road to love, no doubt. And the purpose of life, I believe, this is just coming from the standpoint of me, I believe that the purpose of life is to love and be love and give love and exchange love and, to grow spiritually. That it's not in our nature to, work every day and go to a job. Like, that's not what the purpose of life is. I believe that, love is the purpose of life and being light to others that need that light, and also just spreading your message and you're helping others. I believe that is the ultimate purpose of life. And that's part of the reason why I decided to start this podcast, is because, I feel like I have so many things I want to tell others, and I have this small circle. It's funny, when you become more spiritual, you tend to, your circle gets smaller for sure. But as the circle gets smaller, you have, more love and loyalty, in that spectrum as well. So it's not a bad thing, but I have this small circle of, individuals I can talk to about these things. And, they're like, well, you should definitely get your message out to others because you have so much that you can share. So I decided to do that. And I appreciate you all for being able to take the time to listen to this podcast. So getting back on, the topic of who we truly are and the purpose of life. Another thing that I believe will help on the road to, obtaining true love and being true love and all those great things that come with love is the letting go aspect. So many individuals are afraid to just let go of control because it's the unknown. And then everyone fears the unknown. It's the fear aspect. So you have to be able to let go and just know that everything will be okay. You have to let go of the fear, let go of the anxiety, and let love guide you rather than fear and hate. And there's so many people that, they do everything out of fear rather than doing everything out of love. And I can tell you firsthand, when you start doing everything out of love rather than hate and fear, your world just opens up to you. And, you become so much more receptive, and people become so much more receptive to you. I have numerous times, that I could explain, where random conversations just happen because it's just the energy that I put off, the reception that, I get from people, and the reception that I give to people is just love. So I guess I'm kind of giving away a little bit of this here, but it's all about what you're giving, what you're putting out there. But in the same token, you have to be able to let go before you can even get to that point. So you have to be able to let go of all these things that are holding you down. And you cannot expect something from others and still be in love. and have love. And another thing that we're going to get into is loving the easy versus loving the hard. Everybody finds it easy to, love their family, love their friends, or sometimes they love their friends, sometimes they don't love their friends, love their kids. But what about loving the hard things, like loving your neighbor, loving your coworkers, loving, strangers that you see in the store or just anywhere? Though, or just loving difficult people. And that's the hardest thing is loving difficult people. There's so many instances where people are like, there's no way, like, this person could never be lovable. I can never love this person. Like, they're so complicated and I can never love this person. And I think that these individuals somewhere deep down are really looking for that love, and you're basically shutting them down, saying that you could never love a person like that because they're so hard to deal with, or like just random people that you could see, shopping. Oh, I don't love that person. I don't even know them. I can't love them without knowing them. But yes, you can, because as I said earlier, love is not just one of those little mushy feelings that you feel between, someone that you're close to and someone that you've grown up with, your whole life. It's so much more than that. So we have to understand that love is so much more than just the love that you feel for a family member or your children or anything of that matter. We have to get past that and understand what love truly is. So I have this book that I read, and it's by the author Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this book is an amazing book. It's called Becoming Supernatural. And the book is it really is just super amazing. And he has a chapter in there where he's talking about heart coherence. And basically what it's saying is that we have to open up our hearts to love, because I think the heart is what facilitates the whole love energy. So in order to truly get that love and feel that love, we have to be able to open up our hearts. And that's the hardest thing for people to do, is open up their hearts to people, because again, of their vulnerability. And that doesn't just mean like your loved ones or your lover. That means everybody. You don't open your heart up to everybody, because like, why would you do that, right? Why would I open my heart up to a complete stranger? And that's the way that, we're taught. But, he actually proposes something totally different. And there's a meditation in the book, that you can do that actually explains how you open up your heart center. And I've done the meditation and I've experienced it, and it was amazing, to say the least. It's this overwhelming feeling of happiness and joy and love that you just want to radiate to everybody that comes over you. It's an amazing feeling. It's really amazing. And it just makes you, want to live life to the fullest, live your best life, if you say, and you just love everything and everybody. And so, it's really an amazing feeling when you do that meditation. And I do recommend reading that book for sure. I have the book on Audible, and I bought the physical book. It's an amazing book. So now we're going to get into what love is. The big topic now, we're going to get into that. So what love is? Well, I would say giving without expectation. When I say giving without expectation, what do I mean? I mean that we are giving all of ourselves without expecting anything in return. We're going to help others, when we see someone in need without any expectation of, either monetary gain or anything. We're doing it out of the kindness of our heart, which I just said that the heart is like the center of where love resides, and you have to be able to open your heart. So we are doing everything out of the kindness of our heart and not expecting anything in return from that person. Or if it's a partner, we're not expecting them to love us back. It's just an unconditional love. You're loving without conditions. You're doing things to make them happy and to see them happy. It's all about, making the other happy. And, you're giving out your love to that individual, whoever it may be. It could be a total stranger, but you're giving, it's a giving of yourself to that person without any expectations whatsoever. So that is really powerful. Giving without expectation. Love is also unconditional. We've hinted on that a little bit. Unconditional love is an amazing thing. I feel like when you truly love yourself and you truly know who you are, you're able to more freely give that unconditional love to everyone. But I also believe that it comes with a certain knowledge of knowing who you are and understanding yourself before you're able to give that to others. So unconditional love is, it kind of goes back into love without expectation, for the most part, it really does. Stated simply, unconditional love is just love without conditions. You're not expecting anything in return from them. You're not expecting them to say, I love you back. You're just loving that person. And I know that is a hard thing for a lot of people to do because they feel like, well, it's like I'm giving all of myself to this person. Why should I give all of myself to this person and they're not giving anything back? Well, I'm not saying that they are not giving anything back. I'm just saying that from the standpoint of you're giving yourself without expecting anything back. They could be giving you back all the love in the world. And I'm not saying that they're not doing that, but what I am saying is that from you are giving of yourself without any expectation, without any conditions. You're not saying, well, if you give me this, then I'll love you. Or if you give me that, then I'll love you. Or if you give me love, then I'll love you. It's not that. It's just I love you for you. And I recognize the divinity in you because at the end of the day, we are divine spirit. So recognizing the divinity in everyone and just giving that unconditional love. And I also believe that love, and we hinted on this earlier as well, is understanding. Understanding. So what do I mean by that? Understanding, well, I guess that can come from different sources. We can have understanding in the context of having our partner. And when you have understanding from your partner, you just get them. You just know them. You feel what they feel. And you know when they're not in a good mood, when they're in a good mood, when they're excited, everything about them. You guys can finish sentences together. It's the look that you give each other, that understanding of one another. It's almost like a twin flame or a soulmate bond. But that's in the realm of a partnership. When it pertains to, a stranger, understanding is, to me, the simple things. If a stranger just wants to talk to you, maybe they just want to be heard. So maybe it's just best to sit and listen to what they have to say, because it's not always about what we have to say and what message we can give them. Sometimes it's just simply about listening. They just want to be heard. All of their life, they've never been heard, and they just want someone that will listen to them. And a lot of people wear personas and they wear masks to really hide who they are, because a lot of people are actually hurting, but they don't put off that persona. They put off the persona of they're happy and, they make jokes, but inside those people are really hurting. And when they're speaking, they just want to be heard. And they just want somebody that will hear them and understand them. And I think that is super important. And it goes into just giving understanding, because it's not always about us, with us being divided in the biological human form, even though nothing is divided, everything is one, we're all one. But in the sense of, our physical form, we see this division and we take that and we can't give this love and understanding to a person because we have to think about ourselves. And, it's just it's the wrong way to look at love, and it's the wrong way to look at things in general. It's all about understanding. It's all about recognizing when someone needs that. When you open yourself up and you open your heart up and to love, you become a lot more sensitive to others. You tend to become somewhat of an empath. And I don't know if you all know what an empath is. I'm sure my listeners, they probably know what an empath is. But if you don't, an empath is someone that can basically feel the energies of others. And they're real sensitive to the energies of others. And I believe that I've definitely become more of an empath, and I can just sense what others are feeling. And I'm very aware of my feelings. So I'm very in tune with myself and, things that feel right and things that don't feel right. And, as a man, I think that is huge. It brings us more into our divinity as men to recognize these things. So I believe that it's just something that we have to develop. But at the end of the day, love is also understanding. Now we're going to get into how we can obtain the thing that we truly want the most, that being love. That's the thing that everybody wants. Everybody just wants to be loved. Why can't I find my true love? Why can't I just be happy, be with the love of my life, and everything will be great? Well, everything you need to know rests in, first, being love. And I said that right, being love. You have to be love before you can ever expect love from anyone else. Before you can ever expect to receive love back, you have to be the thing that you truly want the most. And remember, we are spiritual beings, so love is in our nature. Love is our nature. So we're actually going against our nature, living in fear and putting up walls and all these blockages that we have. That's all fear-based and not love-based. So we have to get out of that mindset and stop letting fear guide you and let love guide you. There's a saying that goes, fear is false evidence appearing real. And that's just what it is. It's the fear of the unknown. That's the vulnerability, the fear of, being hurt. You don't know if you're going to be hurt by this person, so you're putting up a wall. That is fear. All of this is fear that you have to let go of. And you have to let go of that fear and then be love. So Being love just simply means that you're matching the vibration of love and opening your heart and letting that love radiate out and extend past you and extend out to others. And others pick up on that energy. And in turn, you'll see that others just become more attracted to you. And when I say attracted to you, I don't mean in the sense of, looks or anything like that. When I say attracted to you, that means that, they'll just come and they feel easier talking with you or asking you a random question, a complete stranger just asking you a random question. They feel more comfortable coming to you because your energy is not threatening, and it's not fear-based, and it's not hate-based. And all of those emotions, fear, hate, jealousy, envy, all those are on one end of a spectrum, whereas love, joy, happiness, peace is on another end of a spectrum. And what we're trying to find is balance. And life is all about balance. Everything that we do in life should have balance. What food we eat, how many hours we work a day, how much time, we spend working out. Everything is about balance. And that pertains to the physical and the spiritual as well. We need to find balance between the physical and the spiritual. And whether that be prayer or meditation, there has to be that balance in there for us to be able to grow spiritually. And so with being love is, in order to be love, you have to drop preconceived notions about everything that you thought love was and just be open to learning about being love. And so when you become love and you radiate love, you're able to put that out there. And what you put out is what you get back. And once you open your heart to love and you let go of fear, then you can truly become love. And when you're able to become love, your whole world just opens up to you. It's amazing, the things that start happening to you and synchronicities that happen to you. And all of these things happen to you when you let go of fear and you let love guide you. Love is, it's like opening up a whole new door to existence when you truly understand what love is. So we have to be love, and we put that out. When we become love, we're putting that out. And when you become love, you love yourself. So there's no expectation for someone else to give you what you're lacking because your cup is full. Because you're full of love, you became love. So the fact that you are love is basically saying that you can give that, no problem. And I am that thing, so I can give that without expectation. And then you just receive that back in turn. And it's really profound when you really understand these things. So when you love all and expect nothing back, you don't fear getting hurt because there's nothing for you to fear because you are love. So love is an amazing thing. We have to really just understand, for us to truly get the thing that we want, which is love, we have to recognize who we are, and we have to let go of the fear. We have to become love, and we can't be so focused on the external idea of what love is, and we have to go internally and recognize that we are spirit. And ultimately, what we are is we are love. But it's like that whole faculty has been shut down, and now we live in a fear-based reality. So We have to get out of that fear-based reality and get back into the love-based reality. And the great thing is I see that the tide is turning. We are entering into a new world from what I see. And that world is going to be full of love and happiness and respect toward one another. All of this stuff that is being pushed by society is going to be going away. So I see the greatness that's coming on the horizon. So just remember, at the end of the day, you are love. We just have to get back to that way and become who we really are. So that's it for today. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into my first podcast. And also just remember to be peace, be love, be light, and be a spiritual chemist. We will see you guys next time. And before we leave, we want to leave you with a little motivation from Dr. Sebi. I thought this was amazing. So you guys have a great day, have a great week, and we love you, and we will see you next time.
Because the one thing you want to do is to love. And that love should begin with you. Once you love you, you love the whole world. It's easy. It's delicious to love everybody and everything.